scores.
Syracuse just completely dominant.
It's the Emma show that leads the way.
Take a seat and have a listen.
Perfectly placed.
Shorty, keep it tunnel vision.
We're running out of superlatives.
Shorty, get it, you a monster. Girl, listen, you a monster. Shorty different, she a monster. Girl, kill it, she a monster. You know my name, and I ain't come here to play.
Comes up clutch.
While I'm posing for the cameras,
Our championship is set.
I came to shut it down. I'm the one that's doing damage. While I'm posing for the cameras.
Two teams that have a habit of meeting in big games and producing thrilling finishes. We're ready for another edition with an ACC championship on the line. It's the top-seeded Syracuse Orange taking on the 3-seed Boston College Eagles. It is picture-perfect lacrosse weather in Charlotte, North Carolina. Syracuse left no doubt. They looked unstoppable in that 19-4 semifinal win Friday night. Boston College, the reigning ACC champions, trying to defend the conference crown here in the Queen City. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Charlotte North, Sheehan, Stanwick, Birch, Jay Alter with you. These two teams, they just deliver instant classics. In fact, 10 days ago they met. Boston College won a thriller by just a goal, Charlotte.
That regular season matchup decided in overtime, but the last 3 meetings with these two programs, each decided by 1 goal.
And Syracuse, they've been on the losing end of those 3 meetings and the last 5. So you know that this game has been circled all weekend long. But Syracuse had one of the most dominant performances that they've had all season in the semifinal win over Virginia. 9 different goal scorers, picking apart this entire defense of the Cavaliers. And they basically were playing make it, take it lacrosse. They won 22 out of 25 draw controls, 9 different goal scorers for the Orange, and making it look fun and pretty along the way. But their eyes are set on this great team, and if they can play like they did on Friday night, they have a big success. 58% shot percentage and 4 players with 3 or more goals.
The Orange offense has been prolific, but they're going against a Boston College defense that is dialed in.
For BC, it's been their relentless approach on the defensive end, and in their ride, this unit slides on a string. They pressure with conviction, and led by number 45 in maroon and gold, Sydney Scales. And that last line of defense, Shea Dolce, coming up clutch with the game-sealing save in that semifinal win versus the Irish.
Last 3 games, Sydney Scales, 11 caused turnovers. She has set the tone for the Eagles defensively. Let's check in down on the field. 4th member of our crew, Dana Boyle.
Well, Jay, we always say lacrosse feels like a family, and there's a big familiarity between these two sidelines this afternoon between head coach Kayla Trainer and head coach Acacia Walker, who in her 12th season at the helm of Boston College brings so much joy and passion to this Eagles team, and you can see it on the field when they play. But she's coaching against one of the greatest offensive minds in our game, and Kayla Trainer, who served on the Eagles staff for 4 seasons. And as close as these two staffs are, don't you get it twisted, they're going at each other this afternoon to bring home that ACC championship trophy.
2 head coaches, 2 programs that know each other well, now battling with the 2024 ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship on the line. And Kate Mashesky wins the opening draw for Syracuse. Her 32nd draw control of the tournament. She has been so dominant at the draw. Syracuse's turn draws into goals all week, and they start off with a Natalie Smith strike. Instant offense for the Orange to open the championship.
Just 13 seconds to get that goal in the back of the net for Syracuse. They're starting like they started the UVA semifinal game. Nat Smith, the senior, gets her 39th goal this season. And this is one off the draw control. Excellent job. Maddie Baxter gets it to Nat Smith. And I think BC was ready for them to set it up. But Nat Smith does a little pump fake, showed she had the lane and spacing, takes it to Cage. That fake is actually what causes the defense to freeze. And the nice pump fake, placement to the top corner. Beautiful finish.
We've seen Nat Smith this season put on a heater on the offensive side. She's showcasing her mid-range shooting ability there, and I love the way she can change levels.
And we just spoke about that overtime game 10 days ago. It was Nat Smith who missed the shot, saved by Dolce in overtime. The Eagles would then go down the field and win it. So that has to feel good for the senior Smith.
Great draw control, especially just the change-up for Smith to get that out to the circle away from Kate Mashesky.
So that's Ryan Smith, the draw control taker for Boston College. Acacia Walker says she comes in playing the best lacrosse of her life. But after Smith and the Eagles won the draw, they give the ball back to Syracuse. We have the first card of this game, and it's a green card against BC.
We're being told too many players on the field. So after winning the draw control, it's going to go Syracuse's way.
They're going to award that green card to number 16, Andrea Reynolds, for Boston College, who will serve the 1-minute non-releasable penalty, or releasable, excuse me.
So on a score for Syracuse, which they've been striking at a quick pace, 9 different players scoring in the semifinal game. One of the things that stands out about Syracuse's offense is their ability to move the ball. They get defenses rotating, they open people up, very unselfish.
Here's Olivia Adamson, marked up by Sydney Scales. And now Emma Ward, 44 in white. Everybody is a threat to score in this high-powered orange offense.
Notice number 44 in white, Emma Ward, traditionally plays on the crease, but she's up top because she is that outside shooting threat who can stretch this defense.
Great feed, Adamson had to adjust. Couldn't get it off cleanly.
She really had to extend to get that pass. If it was just a couple inches lower, I think she could have gotten a really nice shot off, but they maintained possession, back to full strength. So this ends up being a long possession, 20 seconds left on the shot clock. And you can see up top, Emma Tyrell, number 24 in white, being tightly guarded, setting a pick.
Emma Muchnick, the sophomore, denied by Shea Dolce. So Boston College kills the power play and then gets the save through their sophomore goalie. First team All-ACC goalkeeper.
Really interesting on that settled set. Syracuse offense loves to run the pick game. A big question coming in is how is BC going to defend the pick game? You saw an early slide to the 2-man on the elbow.
Good look, Mckenna Davis cashes in. The junior, she's normally the assister that time on the receiving end, buries it to tie it at 1.
Starting with a Shea Dolce save on Emma Muchnick. Great read up top, and that triggered the secondary break. Emma LoPinto driving on that crease with her head up. Finds a cutting Mckenna Davis right on the doorstep. Great patience there by Davis. Able to see Delaney Schweitzer coming out, trying to take away that angle, but that hitch allows her to get her to jump, and she buries it low.
Jay, you mentioned it. Mckenna Davis taking on that goal-scoring role. We're so used to seeing her as an assister. And when I had a chance to talk to Mckenna this week, she said she welcomed Emma LoPinto as a transfer. She doesn't feel like she has to do it all back there at X, and she can play a little bit more free, and you're seeing that this afternoon.
It was a really nice play. And LoPinto, she's looking to feed when she curls around the crease, draws that double, perfect draw and dump play.
So Boston College answers in less than 2 minutes, all tied at 1 in the 2024 ACC Championship. Kate Mashesky continues to dominate the draw. She's done it all week here in Charlotte. And for as good as the Syracuse offense has been, and they've been so fun to watch, it helps that they get a lot of possession thanks to their draw control dominance. And they cash in again. Olivia Adamson. Individual effort. An instant answer by Syracuse.
These offenses are going to work. They're fast and furious. Adamson, the junior, 50th goal on the season. She's one of the best finishers on this team and one of the best finishers that Kayla Trainer said she's ever coached. Does a little stutter step. Credit the off-ball players of giving her room, cutting through. Watch the stutter step, the change of speed, and then she attacks. Gets Braundorf on her backside, but the key is dropping her stick low. She shoots around. She's able to get that extra strength by dropping it low and following through. she's not just a goal scorer. She stepped in 2023 and led the team with 107 draw controls. That's when Kate Mashesky, who's the current draw taker now, was sidelined with an injury. She does a lot of everything. Now one of the big focuses of the Syracuse offense.
You can see they're electing not to slide to that matchup there on the offensive end right there. And Adamson and Ward both play the leverage game so well. So when they're isolated, a lot of times they can get their hands free for a shot, like you saw there.
Kate Mashesky for Syracuse has been dominant on the draw controls the last couple games. Only had 8 draw controls though in this regular season meeting between BC and Syracuse 10 days ago. BC had the advantage at the circle, so that's going to be a key stat that we're going to track.
And Cassidy Weeks scoops up this draw. The circle play so important when it comes to the draw control circle. LoPinto earns the first free position of the championship.
Excellent job for LoPinto drawing shooting space. When she received the ball, she quickly looked at the cage, pump fakes to shoot, and get set up on a good hash mark for a right-handed player. We'll see if she opts to hold on to it or take this shot. She's highly efficient.
One-on-one with Schweitzer. Didn't get it off cleanly, so an easy save for Delaney Schweitzer.
Katie Goodale, number 12 in white, the defender for Syracuse, got a piece of that shot. She's a takeaway defender, likes to use her stick to deter passes, and she gets a piece of that one.
And that's huge as a defender. You want to get a stick in. BC scored 5 of their 8 goals on Friday night off the 8-meter.
The Syracuse first 2 goals came off draw control wins. This would be off a save. Savannah Schweitzer, the sister of goalkeeper Delaney Schweitzer, off to Emma Ward.
And that's an adjustment right away by the Boston College defense, electing to slide to Savannah Schweitzer, who had 2 goals in that regular season matchup.
Emma Ward goes high, too much on it. 30 seconds still to work with for the Orange. Schweitzer, perfectly placed. Savannah Schweitzer. Her sister Delaney makes the save on one end. She runs down and finishes it on the other, and it's 3-1 Syracuse.
Katie Goodale on the defensive end, making Delaney Schweitzer's job just a little bit easier. And that triggers this isolation by her twin sister, Savannah Schweitzer, who owned this no man's land area in the regular season matchup, has put together a phenomenal run in this tournament, fearlessly attacking, playing with confidence and poise, able to get her stick around and shoot through pressure.
She is always smiling, came off the field with a big smile on her face. She's got an interesting pregame routine. Some players listen to music, some go play wall ball. Savannah Schweitzer reads, and I ran into her today when I was walking up to studio. She reads the book Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. She reads 10 pages a day, and that includes game day. She said it gets her mind right.
Got to add that to my summer reading list.
I know.
You know, right now, Shea Dolce is having a hard time with those players curling around the crease. The Adamson goal and that last Schweitzer goal were both taking defender one-on-one, dropping the stick low. They might be just screening her a bit, curling around, but something to notice.
Violation called against Mashesky. Boston College still settling into this championship game. They came from behind a year ago to dethrone North Carolina. Now looking for back-to-back championships. It's an Eagles program that has a championship pedigree. These seniors, when they were freshmen in 2021, they won the national championship. Here's Sydney Scale. She was one of them. Ball tipped. It falls to Schweitzer again. And this Syracuse defense very active with their sticks right now.
And that's something we saw with their sticks in the passing lane. Sticks always up, disrupting.
They traditionally play that zone with the rover. They like to be in their certain spots, but initial jump pressure as they transition the ball over the restraining line is something we didn't see in the regular season matchup.
And again, trying to spin in on the crease and finish. That's exactly what you were just talking about, Sheehan. Rowley missed the opportunity, and Syracuse did not have the backup, so it's BC ball.
Which is that's a huge backup to win possession. So BC just needs to take a little extra second when they're either approaching the cage, understanding that Syracuse is aggressive and they're going to try to disrupt them with getting stick on stick.
How do you best break down this Syracuse zone?
You've got to initiate with a hard dodge. You got to initiate in spots that they will drag two members of the zone, and then you've got to get the ball around to the backside, whether that's through X or around the top center.
Here's Rachel Clark feeding behind the back, and it's a beauty. LoPinto, the two transfers teaming up in the ACC championship.
LoPinto, the junior, 11th point of this ACC tournament. Mckenna Davis draws the pressure, gets it up to Rachel Clark, who's excellent at dodging and is a huge threat. LoPinto on the inside. Only shot she has is behind the back or a roll dodge and switch to the hands. Let's see the extension of her stick, and her back of her stick on that behind the back does hit the Syracuse defender, Katie Goodale, in the head. That could be we'll see if they'll review it, but if it does hit the player's head on your extension of your stick on the shot, that should be a yellow card and the goal would be disallowed.
And that can be the risk of going behind the back, because you don't exactly know what your follow-through is going to look like.
We have a video review for goal circle violation.
So they're going to look at, that's what you can ask for a review for the goal circle violation. I think they're hoping to see that if there was a cardable foul in that scoring play.
So while the officials review the LoPinto goal, we'll step aside, just getting started in the ACC championship. Back here in Charlotte, ACC championship continues between Boston College and Syracuse. LoPinto, they scored it as a good goal behind the back, and it looked like a beauty, but the review might show otherwise. Let's get the call.
Yes. Okay, no goal circle violation, but after the review, we have a dangerous follow through. Number 13, yellow, dangerous follow through. Yes, we are allowed to upgrade. We are allowed to upgrade.
You can hear Eagles head coach Acacia Walker is livid over on the Boston College sideline. Let's take one more look at this.
So watch, it's all about where the stick follows through on the shot, and it makes complete contact with Katie Goodale. So as a shooter, you have to be aware, and that's a dangerous risk that you take when shooting behind the back when you're not looking. You've got to figure out where the defender is. She makes contact. That's a good call. It should have been a yellow card. They did not call that, though, on the score. And I think what Acacia Walker was trying to talk to the officials about was about reviewing that play. They reviewed, though, for a goal circle violation, and then they were able to see if a foul card was going to be awarded. But you're not able to ask to look for the check to the head or the stick to the head as a reviewable play. It was the goal circle play that they actually reviewed.
And now you're giving this power play offense another chance to go to work. In that regular season matchup, there was only one combined power play throughout the entirety of the game, and it was Boston College that capitalized on it. So 2 power play opportunities already in this first quarter for the Syracuse Orange.
And BC got into card trouble in the Notre Dame game on Friday night. They had 4 yellow cards, which was an unreleasable penalty towards the end of the game, which almost allowed Notre Dame to come back.
A potential big swing in this opening quarter. Instead of 3-2, Boston College loses the goal, and the Orange on the power play here.
3 seconds violation, I think, for number 20, freshman Lydia Colasante on that Boston College defense. You cannot linger in the 8-meter for more than 3 seconds without marking someone from a stick and an arm's length away.
Peyton Rowley, one-on-one with Dolce, whizzes it wide. Emma Ward has the backup for Syracuse. Syracuse's 3 goals have come from 3 different players, and neither Emma Tyrell or Emma Ward is one of them. It shows the balance and depth that this Orange offense has. Great takeaway. The woman down defense comes up clutch again for Boston College. That unit was phenomenal in the semifinal against Notre Dame, and they pick up where they leave off.
Beautiful play by Browndorf, just playing excellent body positioning defense, gets her stick in the right positioning, and then gets control of the ball.
She closes the space so well, Sheehan, on her matchup. She doesn't let them bounce away and re-dodge. She closes that gap and initiates with pressure on the hands, coming up with that turnover.
Coming out of that last timeout huddle, Acacia Walker for Boston College challenged her offense to be just a little less predictable. She said, we're getting it down and we're going right to X. You saw in that last possession, they made that adjustment, challenging them. You have to match up 1v1 first to get your defender to move, and then you can kick it. So less predictable on the offensive end and take a little bit more assertiveness.
And Dana, we saw them do that on that LoPinto goal that was ruled a no-goal. Mckenna Davis initiated hard, drew 2 members of the zone, and that opened up the inside.
You got to work in your space first.
Back to full strength for about 20 seconds here. Syracuse 2 power plays, but they've come up empty on both. Denied. Delaney Schweitzer snuffed it on the crease. That's her second save.
LoPinto needed to take another step there, increase the angle. Oftentimes you get baited by the goalkeeper to try to slip one in a sliver of space, but that space was not there.
Do you think LoPinto forced it after the goal was taken away on the previous possession?
I'm sure she wanted to put one in the back of the net. It definitely hurts. You want to kind of redeem yourself after that, but just taking that extra second. She's a great shooter and has a nose for the goal.
This is Emma Muchnick. Feeds off Adamson. Didn't get it away cleanly.
How are they going to defend that 2-person game? Running the picks on the elbows. An early slide. Back check by number 5, Belle Smith.
Double team comes in. Emma Ward battling through it. Finds Tyrell. Darts in through traffic. Dolce got a piece of it. It'll stay with Syracuse.
That save will reset the shot clock. Great take by Emma Tyrell, weaving through the defense. BC opting to put pressure behind the cage on Emma Ward. She's an excellent distributor, trying to disrupt her. She'll move it up top.
Tyrell, 24 in white, the leading scorer for this Syracuse team, but she doesn't force it, lets the game come to her. Here's Savannah Schweitzer, a goal to her name already in this championship. Adamson somehow shook free, and it's a quick stick finish for Olivia Adamson. Her second goal of this opening quarter, and the Orange takes a 4-1 lead.
Perfectly executed 2-person player. Savannah Schweitzer drives hard, grabs the attention after she beats her girl of Sydney Scales, holds that slide for an extra second as the threat. And that's what frees up a slipping Olivia Adamson, the elite finisher off ball, who has the awareness in space to capitalize.
Look at Adamson over the last 2 seasons, really grown her game, increased her points. She gets tough matchups and does just such an excellent job with her finishing ability, shooting over 50%.
Do you think because she's no longer taking the draw, she can focus and be more effective on the offensive end?
I think that's a huge part. I mean, the draw does, and Kate Mashesky, who takes the draw now, takes the draw and then runs off the field. It takes a lot of energy and skill, and Adamson, that was a big role that she stepped into last year. So definitely frees her up a little bit, energy-wise.
She's played such a big off-ball role this year. When you have Dodgers like Emma Ward, Emma Tyrell, Savannah Schweitzer drawing double teams, she's making you pay on the backside.
And it's another draw control win. Katie Goodale tripped up.
That'll be a trip. So Goodale will get the ball back. because that foul happened not between the midfield 2 restraining lines, it's not a green card. If that would have happened between the 30s, we would have seen a green card issue.
Goodale, one of the top defenders in the country, but huge in that Syracuse circle game as well on the draw.
Great pressure for Boston College. They want to make you feel uncomfortable defensively. Whether you're clearing the ball, they put the pressure on.
Here's Emma Ward. Trying to muscle her way in, looking for Adamson in a whistle.
We're going to see a 3 seconds violation. So the officials are looking for this call. We've seen them call it a couple times. The defenses need to adjust. So you, as a defender, you have to mark up. Get within an arm and a stick's length of a player or get out of the 8 meter. You can run out of the 8 meter, come back in, the clock resets, puts Emma Ward on the 8 meter. She's on the first inside hash. She can step and rip this shot.
That's what she does. Straight to the back of the net. Emma Ward blows it by Dolce. And it's 4 straight Syracuse goals here in the first quarter.
You foul Emma Ward and put her on the 8 meter. She will make you pay. She's got such a hard shot. This Syracuse offense, coming off a semifinal win over Virginia, where 9 different players scored. 4 different players have scored in the first 5 goals of the game. Adamson gets this one in. Excellent job just working the defenders. They score in multiple different ways and have so many threats, which is what makes them so dangerous. The draw and dump, the one-on-one, the free position rip. Syracuse has built the 4-goal lead.
And Syracuse has taken 12 shots in this first quarter. 5 have found the back of the net. Boston College has only mustered 3. Yeah, how does BC just generate more shots in this game? Because if it continues like this, it's going to be very difficult to come back.
Starts with having possession and allowing yourself to get into a flow. We talk about the Syracuse zone. Trying to break that down takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of togetherness, and so that chemistry can come evident once you get touches and you get comfortable in that flow. So being patient, not trying to climb yourself out of this hole with one incredible play, but stringing a few plays together.
There's Boston College defensive coordinator Jennifer Kent, and we saw a masterclass on Friday night. BC only allowed 7 goals against Notre Dame for the entire game. Their defense won their way into the ACC championship. Now, that same defense has already allowed 5 goals, and we're not even done with the first quarter. What's changed?
Well, I think the pressure, the double team, Syracuse has been able to handle. We've seen them do the draw and dump. They're moving the ball very quickly, which is one of Syracuse's strengths. I think why BC was so successful against Notre Dame was they were forcing Notre Dame into uncharacteristic turnovers.
Yeah, speaking of Jen Kent before the game, she wants to get the Syracuse offense a little bit uncomfortable, and they went back on Friday night, and they watched all possessions in that game defensively, and Jen Kent had her team, had her defense clip all of those possessions, watch them back, and rate themselves to evaluate how they think they did individually and as a team. And they also went back to that last matchup between Syracuse, on April 18th, and did the same thing with those goals. So it's the little things, it's the inches that are going to make the biggest difference. She wants them to string together a strong defensive possession here. They got to make a stop.
Syracuse has grabbed the lead. 4 straight goals for the Orange. You know, both teams, their calling cards this season has been strong starts. They've combined for a +99 goal differential in the first quarter. Both teams talked at length during practice yesterday about throwing that first punch in a championship game. Well, the first punch has belonged to Syracuse. Mckenna wins another draw. The Orange have piled on the pressure. 4 goals in a row, looking for more.
Syracuse with a slight edge in draw controls, 4-3. Here's the double team.
Feels like more than 4-3, doesn't it?
It does, because Syracuse has been able to dominate possession. Part of the reason why is BC has 3 turnovers. Just 3 shots and just 3 turnovers. So Syracuse winning the possession game.
Here's Maddie Baxter, her first touch today. Part of this senior class that went to the national championship game as freshmen and lost to this Boston College program. They are desperate to beat the Eagles. Emma Tyrell.
Really clogged in the inside. Tyrell's not able to get a good look on Cage. Smart move not to force it.
20 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Emma Ward. Not a good look, but it falls to Emma Tyrell. Give and go. Tyrell curling around. Tried to squeeze it into Schweitzer, and Boston College gets that defensive stop that they were so desperate for, Charlotte.
We saw them in the semifinal win over the Irish sliding on a string. Those slides were early, and it was those second slides that were also asserting pressure, using their sticks in the 8-meter. And you see it right there. Got to capitalize on this momentum.
The Eagles have only taken 3 shots in this first quarter. You compare that to Syracuse's 13.
I think Syracuse is really finding an easy to pass around this BC defense. They're getting a lot of feeds in the middle. They were able to come up with that one, but they're connecting and getting good looks on Cage. So defensively need to tighten things up and try to disrupt some of those passes.
Here's Belle Smith, been quiet in this first quarter. Had a brilliant semifinal, 2 goals, an assist, and 3 caused turnovers. And Rachel Clark will head to the 8-meter. She's Boston College's leading scorer.
She can weave through defenses. She's set up on the hanging hash mark, that hash mark right outside the 8-meter. We'll see if she opts to pull this out or weave inside.
Decides to go into traffic, never got a good look. And it's Syracuse ball.
Official's going to talk things about it. I'm not sure if they thought that Clark was in the goal circle.
This might be offsetting fouls if they're calling that shot was affected by a push.
I think Clark could have used her dodging ability to get to the inside. She explodes out. Doesn't look like she's fouled from that angle, but her foot, she definitely is in the goal circle area.
And it doesn't appear like she was pushed in either.
I believe the referees are discussing if it's offsetting fouls for that goal circle violation as well as the push that could have affected the shot.
They're going to go to official review. From the angle we saw,
I didn't see a push.
So it looked to me like it was a goal circle violation, and so it should be Syracuse's ball, but we'll see what they come out with.
Our second official review of this first quarter. The first one disallowed the Emma LoPinto goal. So you're seeing the push on 15, Charlotte?
I don't see much extension of the arms there, but I'm not sure if that's the one that they're looking at.
We've seen this Boston College put up some serious numbers, but against this Syracuse offense, you don't want the deficit to get too big. It'd be great if they could close out this first quarter with a scoring play.
Okay. Goal circle, we have a push that's going to go to the free position and the 8. Push that caused her to go in the goal circle.
So there you have it. The
So
official review.
on Natalie Smith, you think?
We'll see who goes behind. So the person who fouled will go 4 meters behind.
Right there.
There is extension of the arms. And they could call the push, so then we'll see where she gets positioned. Looks like it'll be the inside hash.
So this will likely give her a better angle.
So you go to that hash mark closest to where the foul occurred. Because Clark was cutting into cage, she gets to increase the angle a bit by getting that inside hash. And Nat Smith, number 15, will go 4 meters behind.
And this is who you want on the 8-meter. Rachel Clark, who leads Boston College with 63 goals on the season, shooting better than 60% on the year. Clark charges in, beats Schweitzer over her shoulder. You couldn't place it any better. All ACC first teamer for a reason. She shows why in the championship game.
Rachel Clark has a release point that is so hard for goalies to track. Very vertical and upright. Releases it so quickly before Goodale is able to get a piece of it. But the way she uses her wrists on the inside has allowed her to pour in goals all season long. Oftentimes electing to shoot high, but it's a release point that's so deceptive and hard for goalies to see that oftentimes she's successful.
Even watching that replay, it looked like she was going to shoot low, and it fooled me twice. She's going in, and the way that she positions her stick, you think it's going low, and then she fires it high. Syracuse opted not to have a defender on her left-hand side. I think you want to pressure her, and I would have defenders coming at her from every angle. Somebody moved early, and so this is going to be Mashevsky's ball for the Orange. Third straight draw win for Syracuse.
So Boston College had the disallowed Emma LoPinto goal earlier in the quarter, but then a review led to that Rachel Clark goal. And so the Eagles stop a 4-0 Syracuse scoring run. The Orange back with the ball. A little more than a minute left in this opening quarter.
We see number 14 in maroon, Shea Baker, face guarding Emma Ward. That threat on the crease.
And it seems like Sydney Scales has moved over to mark Emma Tyrell. Even those two, they're the top two, but you have so many other weapons for Syracuse offensively. It's not like you can just take those two away and feel comfortable.
And spacing is huge when you're going up against a man-to-man defense. You've got to set up your Dodgers for success. Isolate them, give them a lane, and let the slides come.
Syracuse does a great job of creating space. Watch the off-ball cutters. Emma Ward comes up. Looks like she's setting a pick.
Feed to Emma Tyrell. She'll usually make you pay from there. Great save by Shea Dolce. And there's time for Boston College. Our clock is stopped on the screen, but there's 9 seconds left of the quarter. Now down to 5. Boston College goes full field, and Emma LoPinto fires it home.
What a save. Shea Dolce comes up huge. BC wins the ball and a quick transition downfield. Rachel Clark gets it to LoPinto. This time she out to face the goal, throw in the fake and score. This one counts. Her earlier behind the back taken away in a card. LoPinto makes this one special with a finish. 2 straight goals for Boston College.
How do you score on a zone defense? You don't let them get set up. You push the pace in transition. LoPinto with the IQ to backdoor Bianca Chevry on the crease, who was watching the ball come down at hyperspeed.
From the Dolce save to the LoPinto goal, Boston College goes full field in just 12 seconds to score that goal. And it's 2 goals in the final minute 42 of this first quarter for Boston College. Kayla Trainer's team got the party started. Syracuse jumped down to a 5-1 lead, but Boston College back-to-back goals, and we've got a fun one here in Charlotte. Start of the second quarter here in the ACC Championship, and it's Boston College trailing by 2, a 5-3 Syracuse lead. Let's hear from the Eagles head coach. Acacia Walker moments ago was with Dana Boyle.
Coach Walker, 2 goals in the final minute 42. What changed offensively?
Transition was working. Defensive matchups were a little bit better. We were a little bit disorganized there in the first few minutes. But they calmed down, got their matchups, played physically, attacked first, second slides, transition worked. And we're trying to, go before they're a little bit set up and organized defensively, and it's worked for 2 of the goals. So we'll keep trying to push that.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Acacia Walker and the Eagles looking for back-to-back ACC championships. They won their first one in program history exactly a year ago on this very field. And now they have reloaded with the likes of Rachel Clark, Emma LoPinto in the transfer portal, a star-studded senior class that would love to bring another trophy to Chestnut Hill.
Number 15, Abby Herod taking the straw against Kate Mashesky, the right-handed draw taker.
That's what Mashesky does so well, just able to place it and win it to herself. And handles the pressure. I mean, teams have been watching her do it all season long. Very hard to disrupt her rhythm.
Boston College elects to make a change of the draw control circle, and yet same result, Mashesky making it look easy like she's done all week here in Charlotte.
She's been putting up ridiculous type of numbers. Just one of 9 Division I players to reach the 500 career draw control mark. Able to keep it so close and controlled and grab it out of the air instantly.
She has 6 draw control wins today, brings her total to 37 draw control wins over the course of this tournament. Here's Maddie Baxter, has a step, high heat, too much on it. Browndorf all over Ward, has to send it to Emma Tyrell. And now Adamson, who has 2 goals for the Orange today. 15 seconds to shoot, looking for Tyrell, thrown away. Sydney Scales has it.
That's the kind of on-ball pressure we saw in the semifinal, but pushing the pace here again in transition.
Transitions worked beautifully for BC, and they've got another goal. Mckenna Davis. And 3 of the Boston College 4 goals in this ACC championship game have come in transition.
Coming downhill, full speed, you've got numbers. And the crease presence of Emma LoPinto and Mckenna Davis is a connection that's tough to stop. We talk about how to beat a zone. You don't let them get set up. And when you come up with a turnover on the defensive end and you use the jets and the speed in your midfield to get it to your attack, that's what creates chaos in unsettled situations.
Boston College has scored on their last 3 shots. I almost thought that passing on display was beautiful, but it almost was one pass too many. Mckenna Davis didn't have much of an angle, but she is so smart right around the crease. The release point, she didn't wait, burn another second, was able to slip that one in. Great end-to-end action started by Sydney Scales with the ground ball defensively.
So after Syracuse scored 4 goals in a row, Boston College has punched back with 3 goals of their own unanswered. And it's a 1-goal game. And this is what we're accustomed to seeing between these 2 terrific programs. Close, contested games. We saw it 10 days ago in the regular season finale. Boston College won it by 1 goal in overtime. And Syracuse would love nothing more than to slay the Boston College Dragon. They have lost their last 5 meetings to this BC team. seemingly all of them in huge games with big implications, sometimes trophies on the line like there is today.
Coco Vandiver with the 8-meter. She does not have a shot on the season, so it'll be interesting to see if she takes this to cage or sets it back up.
Decides to pass out of it.
Vandiver, a huge part of that Syracuse zone, playing that defensive role, but she pushes the pace as well, dodging in transition to cause that shooting space foul.
And if you don't feel comfortable taking that 8-meter, you do want to set it up. Possession is key. It should be a high percentage scoring opportunity, but you want to have confidence you go to goal, and the Syracuse offense has a lot of weapons out there you can dish the ball to.
Emma Tyrell deciding not to go to goal.
Feels like the BC defense much more organized. You can see them disrupting Syracuse. The slides are better. Looks like a push on BC. I think this is going to stay Syracuse's ball.
"24 seconds to shoot here for Syracuse." Boston College has dialed in the defense, playing a lot better in the last 10 minutes.
And you can see the Syracuse offense is trying to set up Emma Tyrell on the backside to be dodging on a recovering defender.
Emma Muchnick with 10 seconds to shoot. Guarded tightly by Sydney Scales. Tried to find a cutter, instead Shea Dolce there.
Those were the passes that were connecting in that first quarter, and then there's just been a little bit of a miss, and part of that I think is because BC's pressure. They're rattling the ball handlers.
Sydney Scales can be an eraser in a settled 7v7 set with that type of pressure, but the Syracuse offense is trying to create mismatches, utilizing picks and getting that defense to spin, but great pressure by Scales on the defensive end.
Syracuse 8 minutes without a goal. Boston College, it's allowed them to get right back in this game. The Eagles have scored 3 in a row and a chance to tie it at 5 early in this second quarter. Bell Smith, great save, Delaney Schweitzer. Smith with a golden opportunity to tie it at 5, but Schweitzer got a leg in the way of it.
4 saves for Delaney Schweitzer. She's an active goalkeeper. Likes to take it out. She'll push it in transition. Beautiful pass.
And she's the reigning national goalie of the year. Her numbers haven't been up to maybe her standards this season, but in the later part of the regular season, heading into postseason, she's been on fire. She had 10 saves in that regular season matchup between these two programs.
And I feel like the postseason tournaments and the NCAA tournament really is a deciding factor for that Goalkeeper of the Year award.
Well, her head coach, Kayla Trainer, telling us she's made saves when she's had to. Not all saves are created equal. They are statistically, but in games, she has made critical save after critical save. Here's Emma Ward. And now Maddie Baxter runs onto it, lets it rip. And a foul comes after the shot. Dolce did make the save.
Felt like that whistle came a little bit late. Baxter lets this one rip through 3 Boston College defenders.
I don't know if I saw a cross-check there that really affected the shot. Like you said, the whistle was a little bit late.
You think that would have been a simultaneous whistle, but they'll give it back to Baxter.
Dolce comes up clutch again. Shea Dolce, 5 saves. Reading the ball really well. The battle for the ground ball. Still waiting for word, and it'll be Boston College possession.
What a huge win. It seems like the 50-50 balls are heading BC's way. Now Syracuse ramping up the pressure. They'll settle back in.
It almost feels like both teams don't want to allow any more transition. Jump pressure into the settled offensive set from both teams to try to have that ball die up top.
Boston College had 3 turnovers in the first 5 minutes. Since then, 15 minutes without a turnover. It's allowed them to come back in this game. Now a chance to tie, and they do! Kayla Martello, perfectly placed low where Schweitzer couldn't save it. And we're tied at 5 in the ACC championship game. What a run for the Eagles right now.
Syracuse came off to a hot start, but BC has responded after going down 5-1, scoring 4 straight goals. Great passing, handling the pressure, limiting the turnovers, making the one more. And Kayla Martello, one of the best scorers on this BC team, takes the pass, continues her momentum, shoots away from where her body is going, and slips that past Schweitzer to tie this one up.
What I love the most about that last one right there is she curled to the feeder. Keeping your feet moving to receive that pass is what gets her that space between her and Bianca Chevery, the defender on the crease.
And those last 4 goals, Charlotte, were all scored in different ways. And what impresses me the most, I know it's been a huge storyline this season, is the transfers that come in. So Rachel Clark comes in and occupies Kayla Martello's space. Well, now you see Kayla Martello streaking up goal line extended through the crease, scoring in different ways, adding to the diversity in her game makes her so hard to stop.
Syracuse continues to dominate the draw, but they haven't scored on all this possession. Leszewski goes to goal. Often she runs off the field right after she wins the draw, decides to take a shot there, and Dolce saves it again. So Syracuse has won 7 straight draws, and yet it's Boston College that has all the momentum, scoring 4 straight goals. They've got the ball back.
I think defensively they got organized. You can see the communication better, and then winning out some of the 50-50 balls, the run-outs of the shots, the takeaways, and some big saves by Dolce.
Now it seemed like nobody could stop Syracuse scoring in this tournament after they scored 19 goals in the semifinal against Virginia. They scored 5 in the first 10 minutes of this championship game. But credit Boston College, a couple of defensive adjustments that have paid off, and now it's the Eagles who have grabbed momentum. Now they're looking for the lead.
You see number 31 in white. Hallie Simpkins occupies the cutters on the inside, acting as the rover of their zone, passing off, not traditionally playing in that 1v1 role, but monitoring the inside.
Here's Belle Smith.
You got to have endless energy to be the rover. Passing force, the people that come in, the cutters, you got to pass the cutters off. You got to make sure you stay on the 3 seconds.
And communication is a huge piece of it.
Shot clock down to 3. And Boston College turns it over for the first time.
That was a really nice defensive sequence for Syracuse. They were marking up on the cutters. BC had some nice feeds inside, but they were matched up, didn't allow some good looks on the cage.
First turnover in 18 minutes for Boston College. They have played clean lacrosse since the opening 5 minutes. Syracuse has gone scoreless for the last 13 minutes. Jay Dolce has made 4 saves over that time. Emma Tyrell, Syracuse's leading scorer, been quiet in this first half. Passes off to Emma Ward. Shovel shot, and it goes in! Ward to Tyrell. We've seen it all season for Syracuse. The Emmas combine, and Syracuse takes back the lead.
When you have the offensive weapons and the dodging threats that this Orange team does, the defense has their head on a swivel. And a lane for Emma Tyrell, showing off the flair.
Charlotte North. She and Stanwick Birch. Jay Alter with you. Dana Boyle down on the field. And Dana, Syracuse dominating at the draw this first half.
Kate Mashevsky is shining so bright at that center circle, and a big part of her growth this season, Kayla Trainer told us, is in big thanks to Abby Rafus, who's the assistant coach for the Orange, and she's helped her not just with her confidence, but her growth in that area and being a mentor in that area. And UVA on Friday night threw a lot of different looks at Mashevsky, and she was able to handle them with ease. She had 16 draw controls. The team had 22.
And right on cue, wins another draw. That is 8 straight for Syracuse. And I guess Sheehan, 8 straight draw control wins, and yet only a 1-goal lead. How is that?
Well, it's because BC and their pressure. BC's won the ground ball battle, so they're losing the draw control battle, but they've won the ground ball 7-3. And Syracuse also winning the shot. So credit Shea Dolce, 19 shots for Syracuse, just 11 for Boston College.
And in that regular season matchup, Sheehan, the ground ball stat was lopsided in BC's favor as well, 17-7. So
Dolce got a piece of it, but not enough to keep it out. Gracie Britton, her first touch today, results in a Syracuse goal. Dolce's been phenomenal in this first half. She got a piece of it, but not enough to keep out the Gracie Britton goal.
Britton just played in 14 games this season, gets her 4th goal. Good little face dodge. She's got the room, a little bit of an angle, and this one just squeaks by Dolce. O'Neal with the pressure just goes a little bit too much for body instead of just getting stick on stick. You can see how fired up she is.
2 goals in just 36 seconds for this Orange team. You can see them starting to recognize the matchups that they feel are favorable to them and isolating those Dodgers to try to win the 1v1 and anticipate no slide in sight.
And even though Syracuse has won 11 draw controls, that's only the 3rd time today that they've actually scored a goal following a draw control win.
Which that was their bread and butter on Friday night. They was make it, take it. They would go down and score, shooting about 60% on the night against UVA. They slowed down a bit. The draw control is a huge area in the statistical categories, but it's not the whole entire story. If you can win and manufacture extra possessions on the ground balls, the saves, you can definitely compete. Dolce is aggressive.
Left the cage open. Battle for the ground ball, won by Emma Tyrell.
It's a great pickup by Tyrell.
Another good look for Syracuse. Twice that they've had that net practically empty. They've beaten Dolce, but just couldn't finish it.
Heads up play by Schweitzer to follow Tyrell there. Noticing Scales was on her back, a slide had to come, so there was an unsettled, uneven situation on the crease.
Syracuse doubling up Boston College in shots, 22-11. Tyrell draws the contact.
And a hard whistle. Official reaching into her pocket. We're going to see a yellow card on this play. Check across the body, into the body. This will be a 2-minute foul. It is releasable on a score. Tyrell goes to cage. She gets hit a little bit high. I think it's a second foul, the cross check, and that goes into the head and neck area.
They called it on number 20, Lydia Colasante. I think got a piece of her in that upper neck area, applying pressure.
Both teams just 1 for 3 on free positions today.
See Emma Tyrell just shaking out her arm. I think she takes this shot, even though they are a player up for 2 minutes. I take it. We've seen so many turnovers and the failed possessions for man up. Now, Syracuse is one of the best in the business in terms of moving the ball, their passing ability. But when you see Emma Tyrell in the 8-meter, I like the odds.
And Syracuse 0 for 2 on the power play today. How do they find a goal here, Charlotte?
Maintain your shape. Allow your inside players to work, like Adamson here inside the 8.
She was open, just couldn't get a clean feed.
And when you shrink, that lane isn't there, so you got to maintain.
Emma Tyrell, 2 saves, Dolce. Battle for the run out. Won by Boston College. How about the saves from Dolce and then the hustle to win the ball for BC? Wow.
That goes on the defensive highlight reel. What a major opportunity. Dolce coming up with the monster saves, and Sydney Scales coming from behind the play to win the run out. Now they've got to kill the penalty.
Shea Dolce, 8 saves in the first half, but those were the best of the bunch.
But that's why I would have taken the 8-meter when you had Tyrell on the 8-meter for a good opportunity. We're going to see another yellow card. This one's going to go against Syracuse on Nat Smith cross-check. So got to adjust your game the way the officials are calling it. Any check really into the head and neck area is an automatic yellow card, but some of the strong cross-checks, they also will whistle. Watch the extension of the arms. Wow, that slides right up into the neck area. Easy call.
Both teams sliding with their sticks, getting caught in that head and neck area. You got to slide to body. Use your feet. You can be physical, but you can't extend the arms or be anywhere near the head and neck area. You got to maintain your discipline.
So each team down a player, so it'll be even strength 6v6 for the next 37 seconds. And somewhere in Chapel Hill, North Carolina head coach Jenny Levy is smiling. These were the rule changes she proposed before the season. They were not passed. Feels like it opens up the field. It is a much better product. We'll get a taste of it here for another 25 seconds. And if you're Boston College, you go to goal here, or you decide to let this time tick and then you're going to go woman up?
You've got 15 seconds left on the BC penalty. So plenty of time for them to wait to get a woman up.
So back to even strength here. 50 seconds on the shot clock to work.
The Syracuse zone staying in their shell, but now they have 5 on the perimeter instead of 6, plus the rover, Hallie Simpkins. So uneven opportunity up top with just those 3 girls on the fan.
Here's Mckenna Davis. And now Clark. Great feed. Martello buries it. Kayla Martello. Her second goal of the afternoon, and BC cashes in on the woman up.
Kayla Martello sees this ball is zipping around the perimeter, and Rachel Clark finds the skip pass lane through the heart of the Syracuse woman down defense. Those are the kind of passes you need to throw off a zone and connect all 4 quarters of the offense. And again, this is the second time we've seen Martello curling into the feed, keeping her foot movement to the middle to win that angle and free her hands on the doorstep.
Acacia Walker telling us that Martello is the emotional leader. She's been playing at a different level this year and creating her own on offense. She slips into space, she takes the pass on the run, and then she's able to finish and score. She's a really great job of assessing where she is on the field. And like you were saying, Charlotte, if she stopped and caught that ball, you get smothered. That shot is not going to go in. It's an easy save. When you take that pass on the run, not only are you making it harder for the defense to guard you, but the goalie's got to follow your momentum.
And Boston College wins the draw. That's their first in 8 attempts. Trying to tie this game at 7 right before halftime. An ACC championship on the line. After falling down 5-1, Boston College has been in control. Here's Emma LoPinto. Finds Clark. Good ball movement here for Boston College. They have found a nice offensive flow in this second quarter.
I like their passing. They're really, at a time where Syracuse was really stopping them on every attempt, they found the seams, the open lanes to Cage, and the open cutters.
LoPinto changes direction, has a step, and uses it. LoPinto curls around the crease and ties it at 7. How about the fancy footwork from the transfer from Florida?
The change of direction, treating this like a true 1v1 behind. Bianca Chevry comes out, and LoPinto goes to work. The finalizer move, the double turn back, and it's that last split dodge that spins Chevry around, and LoPinto shakes and bakes.
Look at LoPinto's eye. She looks down. That's the deception. Shoots around, and that's a dangerous job of a defender when you go behind the cage, because you can get tripped up in the net. Your cleats can get over you. It's really hard to kind of jump. That's why it's so good to be shifty.
And that's a move we saw Sama Puzo do in her time with the Eagles, loving to attack the crease area. And we know that Syracuse, we've talked about their zone defense. Chevry likes that pressure out behind. She likes to make contact.
Great draw control win. Abby Herron gets it to herself.
Boston College has time here to take the first lead of the game for the Eagles. 15 seconds remaining in this first half.
They got to push it forward. We saw them go end to end in 12 seconds.
Might be happy to just go into halftime tied, considering they were down 5-1. But Boston College, a strong finish to this first half. The Eagles scored 6 of the last 8 goals to finish this first half, all tied at 7. These two programs typically produce instant classics. We've got another one with an ACC championship on the line, tied at 7 at halftime. Back here in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City, where we will crown an ACC championship in this second half. All tied between Boston College and Syracuse. Hi, everybody. Charlotte North, Sheehan, Stanwick, Birch, Jay Alter with you, and exactly what we thought. Another instant classic setting up between two programs that just find a way to continue to deliver great games for the neutral.
It really was crazy. Syracuse came out super strong, took a 5-1 lead, but BC, they battled back, they got things organized, and we've got another great matchup.
All about in-game adjustments. They're going to be huge coming into the second half.
Yeah, Sheehan mentioned it. Syracuse jumped out to that early lead, and they are dominating the draw. Kate Mashesky continues to get it done like she's done all week.
She had 9 in that first half, showcasing her range and versatility to put it over her shoulder in front of her, and she keeps it close.
And Shea Dolte, though, she has been the answer. 8 saves in that first half, denying the Syracuse offense, coming up with the big stops when it matters most, when momentum was on the line, and letting BC climb back goal by goal to knock the score at 7. That double save stop by Dolce was really impressive.
And there was a point in that first half where Boston College was in the danger zone. Kayla Trainer's Syracuse team on a scoring surge. Shea Dolce changed the rhythm of this game with those early saves, 8 total. And then Boston College's offense came alive. The Eagles scored 6 of the last 8 goals to finish the first half, and we are tied at 7 with the 2024 ACC championship on the line. Boston College, the reigning champs, trying to go back-to-back in the ACC. Syracuse trying to win it for the first time since Kayla Trainer was a player in 2015. And Mashesky continues to dominate the draw. How does Syracuse do a better job cashing in on the possession? Well, they just answered it right there. Can't turn it over, right, Sheehan?
Can't turn it over. That was perfectly executed by BC. They not only do they apply the double team, but right on the sideline, so nowhere for Mashesky to go. We're going to see a card on Syracuse on that play. So Mashevsky, here's the double team, the check, and then the extension. That will put the foul right there on Weeks.
That's the relentless pursuit as the green card is awarded to Coco Vandiver for Syracuse. But that pursuit of the ball, the initial double team, is something we've seen BC do all season long, and we saw it in the semifinal win over the Irish.
Number 16, Coco Vandiver.
Because Syracuse dominated the draw 12-5. Out-shooting Boston College 24-13, and yet this game is tied in Boston College with a great opportunity to take the lead for the first time today. 25 seconds left of this power play. Weeks tried to squeeze it into Bell Smith. Ground ball, Eagles retain possession, but the power play is killed.
Great job by the Syracuse defense to avoid shooting space there as Cassidy Weeks received the pass, closing that gap without stepping into the shooting lane.
Ten seconds left to shoot. A long Boston College possession to start this second half. Mckenna Davis finds LoPinto. 2 seconds left. Clark doesn't notice it, and that's a shot clock violation. So the Syracuse woman down defense delivers. Boston College didn't even get a shot off.
Yeah, they got to communicate that better from the sideline and the people behind the restraining line, letting them know how much time is left. Even though there's a clock down there, it would have been better to either dish that ball into the corner or ideally get a shot off.
Boston College, that's their first turnover in 27 minutes. They've been playing clean lacrosse. The Orange offense shot out of a cannon to start this game. But they've been slowed by a couple of defensive adjustments. Can they get things rolling to start this third quarter? Here's Emma Tyrell. Told me yesterday, every quarter is a reset for this Syracuse team. Regardless of the score, they say it's a tie game. Well, it's actually tied, and the Orange turn it over. Check out the speed. Shea Baker flying down the field. Boston College has numbers. Clark trying to spin her way free, and Delaney Schweitzer's there to make the save.
Really nice save by Schweitzer and the quick outlet pass downfield. Looks like Syracuse not going to try to push transition. BC slowing them down.
And that's huge for Schweitzer to stop the momentum in transition when there is a man-up opportunity somewhere due to the speed of Shea Baker.
Muchnick got a great look, couldn't finish it. Sent it high over the cage of Dolce. I feel like Syracuse has been more effective, Sheehan, when they've gone low on Dolce in this game.
I think the low shots are highly effective. We saw them score a couple on the one-on-one matchups and dropping the stick low.
Schweitzer tried to go behind the back, didn't have the angle, and Dolce wins the run out. Shea Dolce doing it all for Boston College.
Those are game-changing plays. You love when you have an active keeper that runs out the shots, gets possession back.
Syracuse just 2 of the last 12 shots have gone in. You'd think they'd set up more of an isolated dodge with space. Let your playmakers like Emma Tyrell run downhill with speed to get a better look on cage.
Feels like the ball has not been in Emma Tyrell's stick much at all this game.
It's Syracuse who scored 19 goals in that semifinal win against Virginia. They started with 5 in the opening 10 minutes, but only 2 since. So the scoring has finally slowed down here in Charlotte in a week that has belonged to the Orange offense. Mckenna Davis. Katie Goodell all over her, and Goodell forces the cause turnover. One of the best defenders in the country, showing why in the ACC championship game. Boston College with excellent transition defense again. They have been very well organized.
Emma Tyrell with the ball. She's 1 of 4 shooting tonight. Good pressure. Watch how BC will alternate between putting pressure, high pressure on ball, rotating off. Sometimes they send the early double team, so mixing it up.
Maddie Baxter weaving through 3 Boston College defenders. And now Olivia Adamson sends it back up top. Emma Tyrell and Schweitzer. Boston College's defensive pressure suffocating, and Sydney Scales. How good has she been throughout her Eagles career? Feeding to Davis, off to Martello, and Boston College has the lead for the first time in this ACC championship game. It's a hat trick for Kayla Martello, but this all starts with Sydney Scales and the BC defense.
It's been an end-to-end effort, and Sydney Scales, 45 in maroon, comes up with the play, the tight defense, running into space and transition, and she doesn't force things. She dishes the ball off to her offense. Mckenna Davis, a leading assister on this team, gets it to the finisher, Martello. Really smart, just heads-up play. Just people doing their job, and that's what you wanted to do. You're making plays when you need to, and that's how BC has battled back in this game.
Sydney Scales and Katie Goodell going end-to-end, exchanging punches on the defensive end. Both like to play a physical style of play, get pressure on, orchestrate slides.
How about that on back-to-back possessions? And that's been a debate this season. Katie Goodell or Sydney Scales? Who is the best defender of the ACC? Goodell makes a cause turnover. Scales answers right back, and Boston College has the lead, 8-7.
What I love about Scales is, yes, she's physical, but watch her approach to the offense. Watch her angles. That's how she becomes so elite at that position. And she's such a film junkie that she's watching all of those Syracuse attackers' tendencies. Makes her so smart on the field.
And she's excellent at winning those 50-50 balls. When she goes to the ball, it's pretty much going to be in Scales' stick. BC putting on the pressure and causing Syracuse to force a lot of turnovers. Their last 3 offensive possessions for Syracuse have all been caused turnovers by BC.
Mckenna Davis has it here. She had the assist to Kayla Martello. That's her 132nd in a Boston College uniform, and that is the most assists in the history of Boston College lacrosse, passing Kenzie Kent in that category. She's only a junior.
The vision of Davis in that lefty feeding pocket is something that stands out, but she keeps her feet moving, engages her defenders, and she uses deception to trick a defense. Her eyes, her shoulders, the change of levels in the stick.
Andrea Reynolds, under 30 seconds to shoot.
Rachel Clark has had a hard time getting to Kane. She's such an excellent dodger and getting her stick free. Syracuse has limited her.
Clark has it here, feeding this time. Now back to Davis. Mckenna Davis. And Schweitzer makes the save. And that's a big stop for Delaney Schweitzer. And Syracuse desperately needed that save because Boston College has stolen the momentum in this championship game.
6th save for Schweitzer. Look at her come down the field. She likes to play a role in transition.
Midway through this 3rd quarter, Boston College leading for the first time today.
If you're the Syracuse offense, you know the slides are coming early to players like Tyrell. So you gotta stretch on the backside. Once you get the slides going, there's gonna be a man-up opportunity somewhere, a recovering defense, but you have to find it on the perimeter.
And the Orange offense has cooled off. They've only made 2 of their last 12 shots. Who is going to step up for Syracuse? They have so much talent on the offensive end. And another turnover. 4 possessions, 4 turnovers in this third quarter for Syracuse.
I think they're forcing it too much. Some of those passes, they've got to take an extra second. I'd like to see them really try to attack the cage. BC is clogging in the inside, but try to draw a foul, try to get to cage and get a stick to the body and get yourself set up on the 8-meter.
And that was the second slide again. So they're recovering to the open girl after the Dodger beats one and draws that first slide. The second slide's anticipating who's open. It's that next layer they have to find in the offense where someone will be open, but forcing it to that initial inside cutter girl isn't working.
Here's Rachel Clark. Didn't get a great look there. Boston College, 5 of their 8 goals scored by Emma LoPinto and Kayla Martello. Those have been the 2 finishers for BC in this championship game. Clark trying to get going, tried the same move, it didn't work either time.
She's been so efficient with her shooting all season long, shooting above 60%. Just missing the mark. The good news is they have not been goalie saves, so BC's been able to get possession back. It's a hold. It was good initial stick check and contact, but did they just delay? The stick's getting tangled up is what's going to be whistled. Got to check and release.
And if you're Andrea Reynolds, you have to go to goal here. Only 5 seconds on the shot clock.
That or a quick pass in the inside of a streaking Martello or Rachel Clark look like they're about to explode.
Passes back to Belle Smith, and it goes in! Schweitzer got a piece of it, but Belle Smith, just enough muscle. And Boston College leads by 2.
This is a senior leader. Andrea Reynolds on the line, recognizes how to fool a defense. You throw the no-look pass.
Now, these 2 teams have a habit of meeting in big games and producing fun finishes. It really all started in that 2021 National Championship. Charlotte North leading the way for BC. And then last year, the national semifinal, this was a 1-goal thriller. The Eagles found a way to grind it out and win 8-7. And then just 10 days ago, these 2 teams met in the final game of the regular season. It took overtime, and BC won it again. So these are 2 great programs. They often find their way to meeting in these big games, national championships, regular seasons to decide big implications, semifinals, and now an ACC championship game. And what's the common theme in those last 5 meetings? Well, they've all been great, fun games for the neutral, but Boston College has won all of them. And history might be repeating itself again as the Eagles edging the Orange by 2 right now, Sheehan.
And just remember, 10 days ago, these 2 teams met. Back on April 18th, BC had the overtime win. Cassidy Weeks with the score, Emma LoPinto with the feed inside. These have been battles between the 2, but it's been something that the Syracuse team, the last 5 meetings, they've not been able to overcome Boston College.
It's a Boston College culture that you know really well, Charlotte. What is it about Acacia Walker in this Eagles team that they find ways to win in games like this?
You see the relentless pressure from end to end all over the field, the pursuit and the passion that they play with, but it's a coaching staff that instills so much belief and trust in the units and on this team. And they like to connect and show that on the field.
And Syracuse was not shy in saying yesterday, we know Boston College has had our number. They have been our nemesis that's prevented us from winning ACC championships and NCAA championships. But tomorrow's the day that we turn that around. Well, it motivated them to a great start. They got out 5-1. But Sheehan, how did the Orange get back into this game and knock off the nemesis that is beat them down for so long?
Well, it starts with getting possession and just really being more careful with their passes. The BC defense has adjusted things after going down 5-1. You got to make sure that the stick is open. And I think attack the matchups. Go to cage hard and try to draw some fouls. They've had a hard time penetrating in the 8, but I don't think they've really pushed it to get inside.
Yeah, and that was the message coming out of the huddle with Coach Kayla Trainer for the Orange. She felt like it was a little frantic on the offensive end, and she really wants to address that spacing on the offense, create the space in order to get your hand through, but you got to penetrate the 8-meter.
Syracuse has gone scoreless for the last 17 minutes. They've taken 6 shots in that time, missed them all. 5 turnovers during this scoreless spell as well. They are desperate for a goal.
Looks like Syracuse is too quick to retreat. Adamson will take this cage hard, but the double team gets sent to Boston College. Move it inside. Smart move. I think Maddie Baxter was too clogged in there.
5 seconds to shoot. Adamson has to hurry. It just decides to dump it in the corner. This Boston College defense has hit another level in this ACC championship game.
And you credit Boston College for the great double teams and just really making the ball handlers for Syracuse get a little bit restless. However, Syracuse handled the pressure. They've seen this Boston College team. This is nothing new than what they're facing. Handle the pressure, move the ball quickly, and attack hard. Don't be afraid to absorb the contact and try to draw a foul.
A couple of minutes ago, we talked about the recent history of these two teams. How much is that weighing on the psyche of both teams in this championship game, do you think?
Heavily. I think they know a lot about each other, and so it becomes a little bit of a chess match where you can make adjustments in game, expose weaknesses on either side. But for Syracuse on the offensive end, you know the slides are coming. You know the second slide will be there as well on the inside. So you've got to find the next layer of offense to really open up the dodging lanes.
Clark trying to get going. Didn't get it away cleanly. Martello, the scoop and score. Kayla Martello in perfect position and buries her 4th goal of this ACC championship.
Boston College getting a little bit of separation. Rachel Clark, the leading goal scorer for this BC team, has just been held to 1 goal. Syracuse comes up with an excellent check, but then Martello gets the ground ball, and it's just been the little things, those extra possessions that BC has won the battle. Martello gets the score, increases her angle with the step. BC, you could just feel that they are just feeling the little things, and the ball seems to be bouncing their way.
Martello's finishing has been phenomenal in today's matchup. Taking the extra second, the poise on the crease, picking up that ground ball. You could feel rushed and frantic, like you said, Sheehan. But she takes an extra second to hitch, extend her arms away and around Bianca Chevery, who's screening Delaney Schweitzer, to then paint a corner.
And oftentimes it's what BC, they just, when the ball hits the ground, they go into attack mode. So Rachel Clark, the leading goal scorer, goes to cage, gets her stick check. That doesn't happen a ton to her. Sometimes just, you can hang your head. They don't do that. They go for the ball, and it's so tough for a defense to have to react to that. Another draw control win for Syracuse.
Casey Benoit, the freshman. Good job in the clearing game. Syracuse this quarter, 5 possessions, 5 turnovers. An Orange offense that looked unstoppable Friday night. Denied by Dolce again. This defense and the goalie Shea Dolce have put a stamp on this ACC championship game. They've taken it over, Charlotte.
And credit to Shea Baker right there. The initial pressure, keeping Ward out and away to give a good angle for Dolce to see that ball. And a great read high to high.
Dolce saw that all the way. And Emma Ward does such a great job using her body and protecting her stick. I think she comes around and you shoot that sidearm and low, that's going to go in. So Syracuse has to make the adjustments on their shot. You're going against a hot goalie, and she's reading those high shots.
Boston College has scored 5 unanswered goals. Looking for more at the end of the third quarter. Syracuse has the ball, but time ticking down, only 10 seconds to work with.
They've got to get it downfield quickly.
Schweitzer holds on to it, now lets it go. But too much time ticked off the clock. Boston College will head to the fourth quarter, leading by 3. A Syracuse offense that has been so dominant all week long at Charlotte has gone scoreless over the last 20 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's Boston College in the driver's seat, leading by 3 at the end of the third quarter. Syracuse starts the fourth quarter trailing by 3. The top seed of this tournament, Boston College, looking for back-to-back ACC titles. Let's hear from the Orange head coach Kayla Trainer, who moments ago was down with Dana Boyle.
Coach Trainer, how do you continue to find that next layer of offense to create more scoring opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our second quarter, we had a really tough quarter, came out here third, obviously a really tough quarter for us offensively. So I think our defense is playing really well. They just got to keep sparking our offense. We got to play a little smarter and really follow what we were talking about at halftime.
Thanks for the time.
Thanks.
The Syracuse head coach Kayla Trainer just said it. She and Boston College dominated that third quarter.
Came out with winning those 50-50 balls, the runouts, a strong performance by Shea Dolce. The defense, this is a clear effort of the defense sparking offense. It's amazing the tie, but we saw this BC team. They started the game, they went down 5-1 and battled back. So this 3-goal separation is nothing, and you see what's at stake. Boston College, they're looking for back-to-back ACC championships. Syracuse, this win would be the first ACC championship since 2015 when Kayla Trainer, their head coach, was playing. Syracuse comes in the #1 seed. They won that regular season championship. But BC won the regular season meeting between these two teams. Great win by Abby Harrod on the draw.
So the Eagles start this fourth quarter in the driver's seat, but they turn it over.
And they've had a couple turnovers, so BC cannot get relaxed. They have to make sure that they connect and understand that Syracuse is going to come out inspired.
Syracuse has shown their relentless pressure right away in the settled defensive set. You see it there. No casual perimeter passes will be allowed with their pressure.
Syracuse, 21 minutes without a goal. How do they spring this Orange offense to life in the fourth quarter?
They got to go to cage. They have to go to cage with intent to score. So don't rely on somebody else stepping up. Got to make sure that they make this BC defense pay. They're a great aggressive defense, but try to get into the perimeter, inside that 8-meter.
They're triggering it with Nat Smith. They know she can draw a slide too.
And she pushes out, and then just an errant pass. We'll see who wins this. Can't go off sides.
These are the ground balls that could decide an ACC championship. Syracuse wins it. Shot clock at 30.
I think Nat Smith, she's got the speed that she can penetrate. So you feel that pressure, pull out, and then re-attack.
Here is Smith, but pulls it out again.
And as an offensive player, if you draw the double team, you've done your job. It's now on your teammates to shorten the outlet passes to trigger that backside offense.
Emma Ward trying to muscle her way in, and she does! Emma Ward delivers. 22 minutes without a goal, and Syracuse finally finds one through Ward.
So few players play the leverage game as well as Emma Ward. Feeling the defensive pressure, hesitating on the inside, and that wins her that fight to the middle of the 8-meter.
This is about strength and power. Ward powers through the inside, gets her stick free, and fires that win and adjusts her shot placement. She's shot a couple that have been high right into Dolce. This one, non-sticks, were right below her stick, but great placement.
And someone like Ward likes to use pressure to her advantage. She welcomes that kind of 1v1 defense to win her a step to cage.
And the draw control is important all game long. But as the time ticks into the fourth quarter, it becomes more and more important, especially for Kate Mashesky and Syracuse as they try and come back from down 2.
Syracuse has doubled up the draws, 14 to BC 7. This was 10 days ago. BC had the advantage in draw controls. But what BC's done is they've won the ground ball battle and come up with some turnovers. Mashesky wins that cleanly and a good outlet pass.
What will that goal do for Syracuse? Foul called. Timeout taken. And that's a good timeout by Kayla Trainer because the Orange were about to lose possession there. Well, this is setting up for a fun fourth quarter. The ACC championship on the line here in Charlotte, BC, a 2-goal lead. So obviously these two teams are focused on winning an ACC championship, but you also have to look ahead to the NCAA tournament. These were the games coming into the week. So to start the ACC tournament, this was your RPI top 10. And with the games being played in Charlotte and some Big Ten games as well, there's your RPI top 10 change. Syracuse all the way to 2, Boston College to 3. So this game, essentially, the way I look at it, the winner will be the 2 seed behind Northwestern in the NCAA tournament.
If Northwestern can win the Big Ten tournament, I would agree with you. I think it'll be the winner of this ACC tournament will get that number 2 seed, and that sets you up for hopefully a path. What you want is to get those high seeds to get you a great path in the NCAA tournament.
A lot of shakeup yesterday in the Big Ten as well. Both Maryland and Michigan getting knocked out in that quarterfinal round.
2 big upsets in the Big Ten, and that definitely will shake things up.
Totally. Hopkins and Rutgers, I think that win for Hopkins will give them a at-large bid if they don't win the Big Ten automatic qualifier.
So obviously that's fun for us to talk about, and the selection show will be a week from today on ESPNU. But these two teams, that's a result of today. They are laser focused on winning an ACC championship. The seeding will be the seeding. That'll take care of itself. Big opportunity here for Syracuse. Emma Tyrell, their leading goal scorer, with a terrific look on the 8-meter here.
Just been held to 1 goal today.
Charges in, trying to create the angle. And a foul called, so it'll give Tyrell another free position here.
And because she holds that ball in closer to the crease area and gets fouled, she gets put on a better hash mark. Watch the cross-body check.
And this is who you want on the 8-meter if you're Syracuse. Tyrell leads Syracuse in scoring.
BC went early. Now that just is a reset, so Belle Smith, who jumped that whistle, goes behind. Now you know my bone to pick with this rule. If the offense went early, it's a change of possession.
Tyrell draws contact again, so we'll try this for a 3rd time.
And she goes down the turf, a little slow to get up. Now she should actually get, I think, a place on the center hash mark, so foul by foul, increasing her angle, but
Kayla Trainer, Syracuse head coach, calling for a card.
That's a check across the body, and it looks like it could be in the neck area. They don't place her at the center hash mark. They give her the same exact hash mark. You're supposed to be placed at the hash mark closest to where that foul occurred.
Tyrell cuts in, whizzes it wide. 3 chances on the 8-meter. Bouncer, that's off the cage as well.
That's the right look, though. Emma Ward finding the next layer. It's not that initial girl next to you adjacent to where the slide comes from. It's the next layer.
Syracuse piling on the pressure. Can they get the goal? No, stolen away. But then falls back to Syracuse. Shot clock never reset. 10 seconds for the Orange here. Adamson trying to weave her way in. Back to Schweitzer, has to shoot, lets it rip. And that's a shot clock violation, Boston College ball.
Syracuse really struggling on finishing their shots. Coming into this game, they were shooting 48% on the season. Today, they are 8 goals on 30 shots.
3 shots on that possession alone. Tyrell at 8 meters. Couldn't finish any of them. And now Boston College with the ball at a 2-goal lead.
You still want to be aggressive if you're Boston College and continue to attack and realize that the Syracuse defense may ramp up their pressure, but you really want to make them anxious.
Mckenna Davis with it, number 3 in maroon and gold, who set the BC assist school record earlier in this game, passing Kenzie Kent. Martello, 4 goals to her name today. Finds the freshman Molly Driscoll. Dangerous pass. Contact, no call, and it falls back to Davis.
Good collapse there by the zone on the crease to anticipate that pass and get a stick in the passing lane.
That pass, I feel like, was a little forced. Syracuse read that perfectly. BC lucky to get it back.
Clark couldn't get her stick free.
This is where Davis is dangerous. She will go to cage, but she can dish it.
Right on the money! Davis to Martello again! It's Kayla Martello's 5th game in this ACC final. 5th goal. That might have been the best of the bunch on a terrific feed from Davis.
Mckenna Davis, the assist leader, has connections with her offensive players, but with Martello, there's something special. Beautiful job. What Martello does best is getting into space and her ability to catch under pressure and finish with precision.
We've seen her change up her shots and her different deceptive looks today. Right there, she realizes she doesn't have time to catch, throw a hitch, and bury it. She puts on the one-timer on the inside, knowing someone's right on her back, waiting to trail check.
All 3 Mckenna Davis assists have been finished by Kayla Martello.
Who wouldn't throw it to Martello? Anything you throw in the middle of the field, she's able to control, even when she's got a defender on her back.
Martello, part of that senior class that won the NCAA championship as freshmen and then lost in that very game their sophomores and junior years. So Acacia Walker telling us they are more experienced in these big games than any team in the country, and that championship pedigree has showed up in the ACC championship today.
Martello scales alongside of the rest of the senior class. You can almost feel the urgency that they're playing with. The end is in sight, and they want another title under their belt.
Shea Baker swipes it away for Boston College again. How good has she been today? 14 in maroon and gold.
Her ability to transition downfield and great stick protection. She doesn't turn it over, plays great body defense, excellent markup defender, and transitions downfield.
She started this season as a true two-way midfielder, going both ways. But we saw this last season, her role shift into that defensive midfielder position. Last year's Final Four held Megan Tyrell, who graduated from this Syracuse team, to just 1 shot, 0 points. So she's drawn some pretty legit offensive assignments in her time.
And I like her being able to focus on defense. She can bring the ball downfield and then transition back. It's really hard to be a two-way player.
Martello, got it again! Kayla Martello, 6 shots, 6 goals. She has taken over this ACC championship.
The relentless pursuit of the ball from Shea Baker, anticipating the flip pass and triggering another open lane to the offensive end. And who else on the back door but Kayla Martello? She has been so efficient on the inside today, catching everything, taking a second, showing her poise, and beating the battle with Schweitzer again.
6 goals for Martello, still 8 minutes to play. 3 goals in the quarterfinal, 2 in the semifinal, and 6 today. She just does a great job of not stopping her feet, not slowing down a bit. So tough to stop, streaking through the middle. Acacia Walker told us last year that Martello wanted a bigger role. She had 61 goals in the season last year, and just has been such a leader and been one of her favorite offensive players to coach, and she's coached a lot of great goal scorers.
So Martello has set the tone offensively for Boston College, but really this game turned around. Syracuse was leading 5-1, and the BC defense really ratcheted it up. Time for Watch This, presented by Ally.
The stick on stick, the communication of Boston College, the one-on-one plays, and just the relentless pursuit. They have not won that draw battle, but they've come up with the extra possessions when it's mattered. And finish on the offensive end, and Shea Dulce having a great game.
This is the kind of suffocating pressure that this Boston College team has. It can get you out of sorts all over the field, not just defensively, but off of a draw control, jumping a double team and in transition.
And it just felt like the BC defense has drained the belief out of Syracuse in this championship game.
They really adjusted things. I think Syracuse started the game off super strong, scoring right off the first draw control win, building that 5-1 lead. BC didn't panic. They've been in these type of games, and they've just battled one by one. And this Syracuse team has struggled to score at times, going 20 minutes without a goal. In between that second and third quarter, did not score at all in the whole entire third quarter. Still a lot of time left. We've seen this game, momentum shifts.
And it's time for Syracuse to get that momentum back. Sheehan, like you said, plenty of time. And the message coming out of the Syracuse Orange huddle was keep your composure. And specifically on defense, now it's their time to apply that suffocating pressure defensively to Syracuse. They've got to get a stop, and they've got to take the ball away from Boston College offensively because they're rolling.
And the 6 goals today for Kayla Martello, that is a career high. She's been a prolific scorer throughout her career. So an incredible achievement to do that in a championship game. And now Boston College even winning some draws. Syracuse dominated the draw through the first 3 quarters, but Boston College, there's no stopping this Eagles team. If they start winning the draws, they've got a 4-goal cushion here, Sheehan.
Cassidy Weeks, we haven't called her name a bunch, but she comes up with that crucial draw control win. And Kayla Martello with the hot hands, 6 goals on 6 shots.
She can be a zone buster on the inside, manipulating the seams.
It's all BC in this 4th quarter. Cassidy Weeks. The Eagles have scored 8 of the last 9 goals in this game. And BC closing in on back-to-back ACC championships.
Cassidy Weeks gets her 34th goal this season. We hadn't called her name a lot until she just won that last draw control, and then she gets this one-on-one take, streaks through the defense. Syracuse cannot guard her. Takes it right down the heart of the 8-meter. Beautiful placement of the shot. She had that overtime winner 10 days ago against this Syracuse team.
And since Syracuse started this game with that 5-1 start, Boston College on a 12-3 run, including 8 of the last 9. The Eagles have grabbed control of this ACC championship.
6 different goal scorers for Boston College. Here's Schweitzer trying to make a play. This can be it. Get you into a danger zone with your goalie. She's got to run back into her cage. She doesn't seem panicked though.
Is she staying out there?
And if you're the Syracuse offense, you've got to play with tempo. You've got to go and initiate your 1v1s quickly to generate some type of flow and opening for good shot opportunities.
Syracuse has only scored 1 goal in this second half. And now they have to find 5 in the final 7 minutes here. Nearly turned it over again. Ward tiptoeing.
Are they going to call a push?
They did.
So Syracuse gets a lucky break. You have to be careful when you exchange the ball behind the cage and you're being guarded, because you have to evade that sideline, that end line. Narrowly almost turned it over. BC is putting at the pressure aggressively. You've got to protect your stick, and they have to not play scared. They need to attack these matchups, go to cage hard.
Syracuse shooting just 1 for their last 11.
We saw them just such a free-flowing, just relaxed offense against UVA, and they are playing timid.
Adamson trying to dig it out, and Boston College wins the ground ball again. Becky Braundorf.
Defense was the story in Boston College, winning over Notre Dame Friday night. Employing a similar type of pressure and causing the turnovers.
And the Syracuse offense is making their job easier by clogging up that inside, not stretching the slides, making them shorter so that BC defense can assert their pressure.
It looks like BC offensively just taking their time, getting a breath. They look relaxed and composed.
Clark tangled up. Boston College has it. 30 seconds left to shoot. Leading by 5 with a little more than 5 minutes remaining. Closing in on a second ACC championship. Davis. Martello passes it off. Martello's been the one scoring all game long. Finds LoPinto right on the doorstep. And that might just do it for Boston College. The Eagles a 6-goal lead with 5 minutes to play.
Martello pouring in 6 goals on the day. What does that do? It earns the whole attention of the defense. And the senior leader finds the skip pass to an Emma LoPinto right on the doorstep. Unreal vision by Kayla Martello to go over the heart and the sticks of that Syracuse zone. And a one-timer, LoPinto on the doorstep.
Beautiful quick stick. BC's offense been so effective. 14 goals, 26 shots, shooting above their season average. Really efficient, really unselfish.
Boston College has scored 9 of the last 10 goals of this game. Syracuse jumped out to a 5-1 lead. The Orange, they were in control. And then Boston College made those defensive adjustments. Then the scoring started. And now their foot is firmly planted on the gas, 5 minutes away from a back-to-back ACC championship title run.
Syracuse has won that draw battle 17-8. So anything can happen. If Syracuse can just piece things together, I think this break is much needed. They need to refocus on offense. They understand what's at stake. Kayla Trainer telling us that the regular season loss to Boston College 10 days ago really hurt them, that was fueled them coming into this tournament. They wanted to match up with BC again. This is the matchup they wanted. They want to come out with a win. Plenty of time left, but they've got to make some adjustments and play much cleaner and more efficient.
You get a sense from the sideline, Sheehan, from the Syracuse Orange, a little bit of desperation despite how much time is left, and Kayla Trainer coming out of that huddle gave the defenders the green light to go to cage and transition, specifically looking at Casey Benoit, saying if you have the ball and you have a lane, go to cage.
We just showed you the last 5 meetings that Boston College has won all of them. This would make 6 straight wins against Syracuse for this BC program. Feels like all the games have come in big-time situations, whether it's postseason play or regular season games with a ton of implications. And yet, the culture, the pedigree of this Boston College program has continued to shine through, and it's a pedigree that Kayla Trainer helped build. You know, she was the assistant coach in that national championship win against Syracuse in 2021 for Boston College. She knows it all too well, and yet since she's moved over to Syracuse, she can't quite figure out what the finishing touch needs to be against Boston College.
And a lot of it, like you mentioned, with the culture aspect, Jay, is the belief. It never wavers. Syracuse came out today and threw the first punch. But this Boston College team responded and adjusted in game. And you could see the confidence they have in each other all over the field.
Four minutes remaining. Davis dispossessed. Wins it back. Everything but the finish. Hit the pipe.
That pipe will reset the shot clock. So an opportunity to make this another long possession. Looked like that was going to be a great takeaway from Katie Goodale on Syracuse. But BC has done what it's done best today in winning the ground ball battle. Ooh, that's a hard foul off ball. No card being issued, but Belle Smith will get the ball back in her stick. Syracuse started shooting 7 of 24. In the second half, they've just scored 1 goal on 7 shots. And BC has really been efficient, shooting over 50% in today's contest.
That number, Sheehan, is glaring to me. 24 shots in the first half, just 7 in the second. Not even able to get the shot opportunities on the inside because of that initial pressure on the perimeter.
And the freshman, Molly Driscoll, squeezes it by Schweitzer. Boston College pouring it on in this fourth quarter. What a second half performance this has been. These teams were tied at 7, Sheehan, at halftime. It is all BC in this second half.
And 7 different goal scorers. Unbelievable shooting, moving the defense. Driscoll gets this one in. It just narrowly squeaks by Schweitzer. And this comes off the hard dodge, the double team. The defense is not able to rotate. And Molly Driscoll has just been a big, strong power lefty for this BC team.
And my favorite part of that goal right there, this won't show up in the stat sheet, but senior Andrea Reynolds all day today has been initiating with hard 1v1 dodges, drawing multiple members of the defense to open up her teammates. And she's been so successful at that today.
She got completely crunched. She really saw she was going to cage, and the defense completely honored her. And you're right, got the defense to commit, and then push open Driscoll up.
And another caused turnover by this Eagles defense. They have played the perfect second half. They really have.
Excellent job by Belle Smith coming up.
And speaking with this Syracuse team yesterday, they were so motivated to win this game, beat BC, knock off their nemesis, claim an ACC championship for the first time in 9 years. And they came out, shot out of a cannon, a 5-1 start for Syracuse. Shea Dolce made some saves. The defense started getting stops, and then Boston College hit another gear. And we did not think this would be a 7-goal game.
Especially when Syracuse, when you look at the numbers, they've won 18 draw controls to Boston College's 9. But BC did what they needed to do. They put the pressure on, they won the ball back. We've seen the defense, the communication on point. An end-to-end effort after a really slow start for Boston College.
And it does not end here for Syracuse. They have a very strong resume. Still think they could have a shot at a top 4 seed come next Sunday. Could very well make it back to Champ Weekend, and they still could win a national championship.
We may see a rematch of these two teams.
Very well could.
Oftentimes, it's 3 times a year.
Yep, they have a funny way of doing that, these two programs. In 2021, they played 4 times because during the COVID scheduling, you played twice in the regular season. But Boston College certainly has Syracuse's number. This is 6 straight wins for BC. And this championship pedigree has showed up once again on a big stage for Boston College. "15 seconds remaining. Shea Dolce and Boston College. The celebration can begin. A dynasty that continues to show up in big games. The Eagles back-to-back ACC champions.
Big games and big moments. Boston College separated themselves. A true team effort where defense sparked offense. They beat Syracuse for the 2nd time in 10 days with a really impressive team effort.
Relentless pressure all over the field, a hunger for this title. You can see it end to end. They refuse to go away. They refuse to give up. And a full, complete second half.
You work so hard for that moment right there, hoisting that ACC championship trophy. They've done it 2 years in a row. Their head coach, Acacia Walker, down on the field with Dana Boyle.
Coach Walker, back-to-back ACC championships. That is not easy to do. What emotions are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, I am so overwhelmed. I mean, to climb the ACC mountain and like come out on top is so hard. This conference is so strong. These teams are so good. These athletes are so strong. To be able to win this conference championship is one of the hardest things to do in women's lacrosse, and I'm just so proud of them for have them overcome all these incredible opponents and these incredible coaches. You know, I'm overwhelmed by Sydney Scales. I think she's been like superwoman, and I think the team followed, and I'm just so proud. They played with smarts, they played with their heart and their soul, and we asked them to do that, diving after plays, and it's going to take all of that to beat Syracuse. But I'm just so proud of them to win this championship. I think it's a lot harder than anybody thinks because of how strong the conference is and how strong it was this year. So I'm just really proud of them.
Speaking of Sydney Sales, who I saw dive for that ground ball, your
God,
defense.
Was that amazing?
It was amazing. She held this defense.
She flew.
One goal in that second half by Syracuse. How was your defense so locked in?
I just think you have to be when you're playing Syracuse. You cannot take a second off. They're too good. They're too skilled. They're too smart. And I just think they were really dialed in. They were really focused. I mean, I've never seen these girls prepare harder in my entire life. And I'm just happy to see it pay off.
The preparation on the offense was on display. Efficient, unselfish, 7 different goal scorers. Kayla Martello, 6 goals on 6 shots.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
How was your offense able to play with so much synergy?
I think they just share really well. We've been talking about how it's going to take all 7 people, and sometimes it's this girl and sometimes it's that girl. And if we're willing to just commit to being us in general, then things will work and unfold. But my seniors played like seniors, and that's what we've been asking of them.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
No doubt about it. A senior class that has a championship pedigree adds another trophy in Chestnut Hill. Boston College, a 15-8 final score in the ACC championship game. Syracuse jumped out to that 5-1 lead. 5 goals in the first 11 minutes, but only 3 goals in the rest of the game. 50 minutes nearly with only 3 goals to show for it. Boston College, the defense delivers. The Eagles atop the ACC once more. For Dana Boyle, Charlotte North, she and Stanwick Birch, I'm Jay Alter saying so long from Charlotte.